All right. Some of you might have been here last week. This slideshow is going to look very similar to last week, but I'm going to talk about some of the things that I saw that I think I got right, and some of the things that maybe I didn't get so right, but I'm still looking at. And I'm going to use that process every week. Try not to make it boring for anybody that comes back week to week. But another thing that's important to keep in mind here is, this is my kind of 1 week to 3 month view on the market. I have stuff that I come up with all day long, and anybody who's a member will get access to our daily updates and also intraday market updates. If a news event comes out, or if I see a technical setup that comes out, or I trade based on what I call bounce levels or key levels. So I'll share my thought process on why I've come up with a certain level and what areas of the market I'm looking to enter at. Those are things that you're going to get on a daily basis if you're a member. So while I try to keep this weekly update as fresh as possible and give you the best advantage of what direction I think the market's going to be going in, and you can even take this, and as long as if it works and you trade in the direction of this bias, my experience has been that I'll find even a scalp trade will go much faster generally in the direction of this bias than a trade in the opposite, counter trend trade. So that's really my approach, is to kind of come up with a long-term direction I think the market's going to help me guide my shorter-term trading activities. But there's an enormous advantage to being a member and having access to the daily updates, because there's probably 10 times as much information that I go through on a daily basis just to frame my own trades. But okay, so with Euro USD, here again, Eurozone is still facing headwinds with budget problems, and now you're starting to see Portugal and Spain added to the mix. Last week we talked about Greece, Ireland, and Iceland. Now it's kind of funny if you look in the Wall Street Journal or CNBC or Bloomberg, the PIGS acronym which stands for Portugal, Iceland, Ireland, Greece, and Spain, is now turning up just about everywhere I turn, and I had probably heard it a handful of times before last week's webinar, and I probably heard it 20 times today. So it's interesting, and this is starting to become much more of a headline issue. So keep in mind, there's still some significant headwinds there, and there's some new stuff. This is unprecedented kind of stuff that the Eurozone is facing. They've never had member countries that were as close to the brink as they have right now, and how they get out of this is going to be interesting.
Sounds like we've encountered a little bit of technical difficulty.
Hello?
Here he is.
Hello?
Yeah,
sorry.
Robin, just explain.
Where did you lose me?
Explain the kind of weather that we're having. Right after you started talking about the pigs.
Yeah, I'm on the West Coast, and we are having some weather issues out here. The power could go out at any moment here. That wasn't the problem there. Where did you lose me?
You're basically right at the end of talking about the Eurozone and those, those 5 countries.
Okay, yeah. The important thing here, and I won't belabor this point too much, but the Eurozone hasn't been in a situation where countries were on the brink like this before. And if the whole idea that the EU is all in this together is being tested right now, and how they weather this storm will show a lot to the smaller countries in the EU. France and Germany are obviously the biggest economies there, but anybody who's a smaller country, they got to be watching this very carefully, and certainly anybody who wants to join, their citizens are going to be watching how the EU deals with its issues on the downside as well as on the upside. So the data is still mixed on both sides of the Atlantic. You know, the PMIs that came out this week were pretty mixed. You know, half of them below forecast, half of them above forecast. A lot of that came out last night, and as you can see, it didn't really help the euro very much. The near-term sentiment, I still see us as being in a range, and I'm still bearish over the 3-month horizon. Let's go look at a chart, a daily chart or a weekly chart for the euro. Let's see.